Alright, hello again. Thanks for joining the live stream. So the previous attempt here was just, as someone said there in the chat, just a fake out. What I did, use a different laptop now. Actually my old laptop. I don't know what's going on with the other one, but that's just what happens with technology. I basically am using now my old laptop, so hopefully everything goes okay. Seems to be it's not crashing now, and if it crashes, I'm just gonna stop. I've I've tried what I could then, and need to sort out my laptop then. But it seems to be working okay. Thanks for everybody who's been joining here now today. Please hit the like button because then the live stream will be shared. I think we're just waiting a few minutes until more people join. There were around 200, 250 in the previous stream, so I think it's just going up. But the more you hit the like button, the more it actually will be shared, so that would be great. So obviously what I'd like to do is just to talk a little bit about the dip here in this live stream, and then if you have any questions, I'm going to try to answer them. I opened this up for everybody today because it's a separate or special live stream here on a Saturday, with this crash that happened here. Just waiting here for a few more people to join, and thanks for all your support. Really seems to be working fine now with that microphone and that old laptop. Always worth having a spare laptop, I can tell you that. It's always worth having. Alright, so as more and more people come in, I think we're just going to start. Again, thanks for joining. Now 86 people joined, thanks a lot. And again, hit the like button because then the live stream will be shared. So normally live stream is on a Sunday for all channel members. Today we do it, well, I decided to do it for everybody because, in the end, it's a crazy day, isn't it? The last 24 hours were really crazy. And let's take a look at that. And I'm not sure if I can answer all questions in the stream because there will be probably more people joining this stream than in the member live streams typically. But I try to do what I can. Obviously we see here the crypto market is just going down, going down, going down. I was actually shocked when I looked at it an hour ago, so I thought let's just do a live stream because it's just going down so hard, and Cardano even dropped to that 90-cent support level that I mentioned in my previous video. Officially Cardano has lost the dollar. I mean, it's reclaimed it, but it still happened, so that could be an indicator of what might be coming. In this video or stream we can take a look at some of the cryptos you want me to take a look at, because sometimes in the videos I just can't get to it. But we can give it a go if you have any questions. I was shocked by Fantom, lost the $2 line again. It's pretty much nothing. It's nothing unexpected. As you know, on this channel we talked about this dip for all cryptos. But what surprises me a little bit is now how fast this is happening. But as I always say, you can never really say how long something takes. It's typically when we use the Elliott waves here in the analysis, it's with a high likelihood a certain level will be reached, but when is really very, very hard to say. Very hard to say. We obviously lost here today. We already lost the 35k for Bitcoin, and this is a bit of a slower laptop, but it still works. We lost the 35. We even came down here to 34k. And if we draw the fibs here, that's just actually what I wanted to show you in the previous video, the previous stream, which I had to cancel because of the sound. The ideal level for Bitcoin to reach would be here at 27.3k. We're currently finding support here at the fib level, the 0.5 fib level, at 34.6. Yeah, that is where Bitcoin basically found support here, without basically the next key fib level. I would expect on our way down that if we really lose that one, that we go straight down here to, you could really go straight down to 30k. What we see here, if we open up this VPVR, which is the visible range, basically the previous volume, I just need to change the settings here slightly on that one. So if we zoom out, I did not do it. So we can actually see where all the volume or where the support will be. You can see that this area that we're currently going through is a massive area of support here with that, basically 34.5k level really as a key area where there was historical volume, a lot of support there, guess a lot of orders placed as well, and this will be a huge barrier to go through here. I think if we lose here the 35 or 34.5, that's really when you can go all the way to 30k, to be honest. And I did tell you yesterday in my videos that I wouldn't be surprised if that wave 5 really goes down close to 30k before there might be another move up, and then possibly the last wave down. I mean, this is a larger wave 5, but I do expect it to be a bit of an extended one. I did say that before, and that's basically because we just only now started, obviously, that wave 5, and you can see that here in the first wave, it's basically still the first or the second. No, we might already have here within that wave 5 a 1-2, and now we're in that wave 3. That's already very long, and we can see that whole move down here. We had waves within waves, and it started already extended. So normally that means we have a bit of an extended one. And anyway, overall, looking at the long-term picture, the wave C or the wave 2 here should really go below that wave A. So we can expect here lower prices in the region between 20 to 29k would be my guess, but we've been talking about that for weeks now, and it's seems to be playing out. So I'm just going to take a look at, if you have any questions in the chat, because I guess that's what most people are interested at. I pretty much explained everything in my videos, but it's all going down faster than I anticipated, which is on one hand a good thing, because that means the correction will be over sooner, hopefully. Yeah, we also broke that head and shoulders, by the way, that I talked about on this channel. It's not a beautiful one, but you've got your left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder. So we lost the neckline. I did explain that in previous videos as well, and pretty much as expected, we're going down here further. So I really hope, and I know that a lot of you were prepared for this mentally, which is most important, because a lot of people are panic selling at the moment, and the whales are going to buy that up at some point, and then we're going to go up. And I think we're going to go up fast. That's my view. I don't think we're going to enter a year-long bear market. I think we're just gonna go. It might be just a short dip, but again, that's a bit of a guesstimation here. I only think that's the case because what we've seen here in that move up was a wave 1 in my view. Then we're seeing this ABC as a wave 2, and the wave 3 normally starts quite strong. So that's why I believe that we're going to see here a nice upside also throughout 2022. That's why I wouldn't sell personally. I'm not selling at the moment. How low do you expect for VeChain? So I'm just grabbing a few questions from the chat because there are just too many people to answer all questions, but by all means post them and I'll try to get to them. Don't want to make it an awful long stream, but yeah, VeChain, just wanted to show you the VeChain chart. Just need to find the chart because I've got a different laptop now, because the other one just didn't work with the live stream. Just try to find the chart that I normally use. I think it's Bitfinex. I normally have them all. Yeah, so VeChain in my target area. I posted a video earlier today in my target area, and it did even come down here to, yeah, basically the point, no, I need to move that. I think it's like that. Yeah, so it did obviously come here into the target area. It's pretty much in the middle of that now. Yeah, if I make that a little bit larger and zoom in a little bit for VeChain, I need to get used to that different laptop here. So it's now obviously it already came down to 4.5 cents. I think I wouldn't be surprised to really see the 3.3 cent level, which is the lower support of that target area, which is basically the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level. That's the one I had on the chart here for a while. To be honest, when you're here at 10 cent or even at a 15 cent VeChain, you think it's hardly possible that prices ever will come back to these levels, but it happened. And even, I obviously applied the Elliott wave rules and the count and the Fib levels here in the target area, and even I'm surprised how strong we are now coming into this area. And the way, how strong this price is really going in this area tells me it's not over yet. And I think we're going to see here a 3.3 cent VeChain. And to be honest, if you lose that, I mean, you could theoretically, in this scenario, you could even drop lower. You could, you could lose all these support levels and could come to some sort of a ridiculous price below a cent. Don't think that's happening. Don't think it is. but I would say 3.3 we're gonna certainly see. That would be my worst case, but knowing that obviously it always can go lower in the really worst case. But yeah, I personally hope that we're not going to drop lower than that. It would be an area in which I think we're going to find here support. The price should really react at some point here in this area, and we should find some support and could then hopefully see that correction is over. I think personally, for me, any area in here, I will use these prices to dollar cost average into VeChain. I'm already using my buy orders, and channel members know that on Discord I've got my buy orders. I've even been starting to dollar cost averaging in a little bit higher, because if I look at the fib levels, they tell me that the next wave up, that will go above the all-time high, and it should really go at least here to 45 cents, maybe even higher, you know, one of these extension levels in the next wave up. And again, just applying here the elite wave rules, and looking also at the indicators for VeChain, I think there isn't much more space. I mean, there is more space to fall further, but at some point we're getting here to the oversold level, and if you get oversold on the weekly chart, then normally, you know, you could expect some sort of a support there. So yeah, let's take a look at ADA. Someone asked here for ADA. ADA obviously lost here the dollar level already, and again, you know, I mean, we were at $1.10 earlier today or something. I was looking again, it was just dropping below $1, so I thought we need to do a live stream. So, and I had in my previous video, I put here this 90-cent line on the chart, which is basically here those previous wicks, which supported the price, and we've just touched that exactly. Had a bit of a reaction, to be honest, which is good to see, but just that huge candle here on the weekly, it's just massive, and on the daily as well, how strong we came down. So unfortunately this did not materialize as an impulse to the upside. Unfortunately it didn't. It really looked like it, but in the end that really was in the end then only a fake out. It dropped now unfortunately to $1, and I said earlier today that the way we come down here will make me think that actually I think going below $1, I think I said I would even say 60% now more likely to drop below $1 than stay above. And yeah, in the end I wasn't bearish enough on Cardano, unfortunately, but in the end it's funny though, because everybody sort of was bearish on Cardano but bullish on the other cryptos. But in the end, I think on this channel we can see now that Cardano was just further ahead in the correction, and the other cryptos are now getting to these low levels, and Cardano, unfortunately with the timing, is now struggling with key support levels. I mean, it lost $1, which did happen faster than I thought. Now you can see how 90 cents also is support. Now if we lose 90 cents, yeah, I think we're gonna see here the 68 cent level, which is the 0.786 fib level, and then we could, I mean, from this wave count, the higher level wave count, which we now have to go to, therefore I think the likelihood is quite high. I think we're gonna lose at 90 cents. I think we are, because we already were now at 90 cents, and it has invalidated basically the bullish pattern that was on the chart here for weeks and months now, because it has come below $1. They tell you all the time if it drops below $1, then we're gonna see we have to go to the high level wave count, and from a high level wave count we would now need to assume that it sees the 68 cents or even the 36 cents. Now I think that's a little bit less likely, but I think certainly 68 cents now also leave us enough space. Now with looking at how fast the altcoins are just dropping. Alright, someone's asking for mana. Let's see if I can find the chart that I used, because as I said, using a different laptop now. Oh, there it is. Wow, mana dropped all the way through, all the way through my target area. I remember when we were with mana all the way up here, and I said, you know, and also Sand was at the time up here, I said, think about selling, think about profit taking. No financial advice, it never is, but we're overbought, and just use a bit of education, because when you're overbought on the daily, we've seen it. It typically means that you're going to see a correction, and we also were with all these metaverse cryptos, we were overbought on the weekly, and only now, it has taken so long to really get out of the overbought range, and now only now we've crossed the 50 line, so we've moved from bullish into the bearish range. And on the weekly you can also see the MACD is pushing further down here. So with Mana, unfortunately, because we have moved all the way through that area, you know, again, probably wasn't bearish enough for Mana, but I said in the previous video, if we lose this area here, then again, similar to Cardano, we'll have to go to the high level wave count, and looking at that would then, and you can see how the price reacted to that fib level. So we have to take then here the 0.786 and the 0.887 level. Again, like we do it for most altcoins, the question is just which wave count is relevant. Is it the higher level one? In this case seems to be, because we lost that massive area of support. You can see it here. And the price did react, mentioned in the previous video, that possible area here between 171 or 172 and 118, and you can see how the price did react to that Fibonacci support level here, which is that 172 level, and also the 200-day moving average. So it did come down all the way to that level, reacted, and is now back above the 200-day. Technically, because it touched that support area, you could argue maybe it has done, even from that higher level wave count perspective now, it's basically come here already into that target area. And even from a higher level point of view, it theoretically could move up from here now. But it was just a short wick. So personally, also looking at Bitcoin, I would expect it to come down once more into the area. And it could go, in the first instance at least, here as low as $1.18. Yeah, let me just check here in the chat. Just need to make sure there's no spamming going on here. Let me just catch up on the chat briefly. Yeah, so I think Mana hasn't seen the low. It has come down lower than I expected. Even though throughout this whole correction I was fairly bearish, but unfortunately it even lost here the key support. So looking at that ABC, that wasn't finished there, so we can argue that the wave C will be in this area, will be finished somewhere in here now. So we have to expect a little bit lower prices now, but the way that dropped now, I think with the 118, that would now be my worst case based on the high level wave count. And again, looking at all the indicators, I just showed you the weekly, there is more space to fall, you know, for Mana. Of course, now I guess on the daily, if we look on the daily chart, you're basically oversold, so that's why you're seeing a little bit of a reaction now. But if the higher level points more towards the downside, then you can expect further downside. And by the way, while you're here in this live stream, maybe you can really hit the like button. It would just help me a lot. Would make it sure that more people see the live stream. And yeah, normally I don't do a live stream really on Saturday. Normally I do it on Sunday for all channel members, and tomorrow there will be one for channel members. But yeah, if I do one here for basically everybody, maybe would be great if you could make sure that you hit the like button. It would really help me a lot. So someone wanted to see XRP. And again, XRP yesterday or the day before, I made a video up here, yeah, where we were just above this target area again. So we had hit the target area before here twice, then came out of it. But I mentioned to you that this looks very impulsive, and even that last move down here was a very impulsive structure. So more and lower prices are to be expected. And we can see here how XRP massively came into that area again. And is coming close to the 50-cent level. You know, I think these altcoins are maxing out my target areas. And by the way, I talked about this area when we were up here at around $1, $1.20. Again, at the time, many people thought this would never be possible, these levels, and even I found it hard to believe. But what I did was just to apply here the Elliott waves, and yeah, we're coming down here in this area now, made a lower low, and the thing is, you don't see any. There is a bit of a reaction here of the price to the upside, but I mean it is. Yeah, am I bearish enough on here? That's my question now. You know, I think now finally people have understood that we're probably marching towards a 30k Bitcoin. Where in the last few weeks I watched a lot of other YouTube channels, and I was thinking how they can see something bullish in these charts, but I think it's sometimes wishful thinking, because in here we were just in a downtrend all the way. The only thing where I said here it could break out now, XRP was here, but I said it needs to break above $1, and it didn't really. It didn't even get the daily candle closed above $1, so it continued to move down. And I think now we are here in this target area finally, and now we need to reevaluate, is the price really finding support here or not? At the moment, it's coming really, really close to that 50-cent level. And if we lose that level, then we can see prices of around 35 cents for XRP. Yeah. But for now, I mean, there isn't much more space, honestly. I would rather think that maybe, if I move now, I could move that target area and would say, right, we either find support in here, but if you lose the 50 cent, the next key level will be 35. And it's scarily low, I know, but I think that might be what we need to prepare for, honestly. But again, after that, we will need to expect higher prices again. That there will be times where the prices will go up again. And for me personally, it's always like, I know when the prices will then go up, everybody will wish, we had bought more. But I'm not telling you to buy here by all means. Everybody needs to make that decision for themselves. But I'm going to make some larger purchases in the next few days. Definitely, yeah. Yesterday I started to go into loop ring with my first small quantity, and because I've never been in loop ring, I wanted to go in this year, and I'm glad I waited. Yeah, but obviously today prices are dropping even further. So dollar cost averaging in, I think, is for me, it's a great strategy. At the moment, someone just in the previous chat asked, yep, if I could do a quick trade. Now, I can't do a quick trade now because there's no point in making a quick trade. Just making a quick trade for some quick profit, you need some preparation. You need to have a trade set up. It's not as simply as just, all right, I'm going long now and going to take profit in an hour. You need to really analyze it. And at the moment, it's not the time to go long, honestly. I mean, what I do is dollar cost averaging in here, and dollar cost averaging in, and I will, because I'm very confident that in the short future we're going to see much higher prices. And yeah, please don't spam, because it doesn't make it easier. Otherwise I have to put some restrictions in place here, unfortunately. But Luna, yeah, I can take a quick look at Luna. A lot is about mindset, a lot is about mindset. So for Luna, yeah, I think, I had on the chart before here, possible elite wave count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that 5 isn't going to play out. Was possibly something different then, and I would need to take a closer look at it. What we're seeing here is obviously also a move down currently for Luna, and I think it has dropped. It might have triggered my first Luna buy order on Discord. I would need to check around 55. I'm not quite sure if it did, but here I had from a previous video, after the Luna high, I said we could come down into that target area here. I did have it. I think that was also based on that count and fib levels, and I did have that sitting between 42 and $26. What we need to keep in mind for Luna, even though tokenomics are fantastic, it's just broken here a downtrend as well, and it has done new all-time highs. So it's only just starting the correction. Yeah, think about that. It's only just starting the correction. It's much later than many of the other cryptos which have seen their all-time highs, for example. Alright, Witchy, just seeing that, thank you. Yeah, the first Luna, I'm glad I didn't set it higher, because yeah, I wanted to wait for a substantial correction, obviously for Luna, but I expect much higher prices for Luna in the future again. For Luna, we are now like 50% down, maybe, the thing is, these buy orders, for example, on Discord, I really try to set them as strategic prices, but I'm willing to then take also and accept when I dollar cost average in that we are possibly going to see lower prices. But knowing that, Luna in the next wave up, I mean, you look at price maybe 150, 187, these extensions, and that's only here of that smaller wave that I actually had here on the chart, those fibs. I think we need to go to actually the beginning of that larger wave count if we want to talk about Luna. And yeah, we're talking here about then the next wave up. You can see where I had my target area here between the 61.8 retracement level of $43 and 26, the 0.786 fib level. So I'm still expecting the price will actually land there. But then in the next wave up, there you go. Here, $200 Luna would not surprise me. So I'm happy with anything to dollar cost averaging in now, with maybe a lower quantity now. I'll never try to buy or invest anything at once. But these are the times where I start buying, because this is where other people are selling. This is where people are, look at the fear and greed index. I did have it open here earlier. Here on lookintobitcoin.com. Fear and greed index, we are really, really low. Extreme fear, it's at 13. There is more scope to move lower. We already were historically, I think, at a level of 8 or 9. I think at some point we were even at 5. I did look that up. Here, back in the 2018, score was 8, for example. We're now at 13. There is more scope to fall lower, but this is when people are panic selling, and this is where many people who are new in the market, they are gonna take a hit. They're gonna sell their valuable cryptos, and they are gonna lose out because at some point the whales are gonna start to buy big time, and then you're gonna see after you're gonna see a 10-20% increase in a day or so, or maybe even more. And not only Luna. Let me just go back to Bitcoin. This is the time where, actually everybody should be waiting for, because I understand it's frustrating to see a red portfolio, but I always try to think about it long term. And here in March 2020, when we had that crash, that was like, here within a few weeks, you had a 70 to 80% crash, right? But then from the low there, and those were nice prices for Bitcoin, right? That was like a $4,000 Bitcoin. So whoever managed the whales, or whoever went in here, you made like 150%. And we're talking about Bitcoin here, and Bitcoin is not as volatile as other cryptos. Here within a couple of months, 150, 160%. That's awesome just for Bitcoin. But then obviously if you stuck with it, then you know where it went. It did go like 10x last year for Bitcoin. It's just amazing. And always try to visualize it. I think there is further scope to the downside. People panicking, that's normal. But looking at the chart here, ABC correction, we're close. We shouldn't be too far away from it. On the daily, we're already oversold. I would still expect the price lower than 30k, but in the end, you never know. If at some point the whales start to buy in here and that whole structure gets invalidated, then I'm happy that I dollar cost average in now. In the end, looking at the grand scheme of things, I think in a year, I'm going to look back and look at, did it really matter if I bought at 35 or did I buy at 25? Did it really matter? So dollar cost averaging in for me is very, very valuable. It keeps the emotion out in a certain way. And it's not too far away. It's like 20% drop more to get to that target area that I had on the chart here. But I think we are still going to see another major drop. I think there will be at least one more major drop when people really are going to give up. My laptop is crying. That's the problem with that old laptop here. It's like an old airplane starting. So I could reduce here the sensitivity of the microphone a little bit and get a bit closer to the microphone. But that old laptop is just annoying. I had to use the old one, by the way, if you just joined, because in the previous live stream with my new laptop, the microphone didn't work. Really, really annoying. But again, if you just joined, maybe hit the like button would be great to make the live stream available and public for more people. Harmony 1, let's take a look at Harmony 1. And again, we have a bit more time, but I don't want to make this an awful long live stream, because tomorrow I'm going to do another one for channel members. And if you're interested in that, every week we do one on Sunday. Maybe consider joining the channel membership. You can find a link for that in the description of the live stream. And here again you can see Harmony 1 is just dropping further as well. It is, I remember, when we were all the way up here and I saw it and I said, this is a wave B. Many people understood, but a lot of people also said, we're never going to see lower price again. We're going to go to new all-time highs. But just for education, when you look at the indicators, and I took a look at the indicators at the time, they were already very high. When you have high indicators like that, and I'm talking about the RSI, the MACD here, on the RSI, on the daily, we were like 65, we were getting dangerously high, right? So you can't really expect much more, even if you do an all-time high. I mean, how high do you want to go? Maybe to 80, 90, yes, but that might have been maybe a 45, 50 cent Harmony one. Not really realistic, you know. That's why now the indicators are coming down. On the daily it's coming down, on the weekly. I'm so glad I remained here bearish throughout. Took profits on the way up in line with buy and sell orders on Discord, and then now started to dollar cost average in again with profits taken from there at these levels here, starting to dollar cost average in. But in the end I would expect the price, and it's already come dangerously close, honestly. Here, that area between, again, 9 cents, yeah, and 13.5 cents. That would be here my target area, and again, it's based on Fibonacci levels of that wave up on these corrections, and we can see that, yeah, I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see it, and again, it sounded very unrealistic up there. 35 cents all the way down now to nearly 13.5. We're nearly there. We already came down to 16, you know, it's not far away. And I wouldn't even be surprised, and I just want to extend it down now because this is sitting between these fib levels. I started up here, maybe because I was a little bit influenced by the bullishness of how the chart actually looked, but it was not a new all-time high, and it only made a new wave B before it comes down in wave C. So yeah, I think if we really look at the Fibonacci levels, we have to expect here a price of 7.2 cents, between 7.2 and 10.5. And I think again that would be fairly realistic, looking at what Bitcoin is probably going to do if there will be another major sell-off. I think we're going to see those levels. And then someone asked about Fantom, so let's take a look at Fantom as well. But all of them are currently, there is no crypto that I'm aware of. I think API 3 has made a bit of a move up, but most are just coming down. And again, Fantom as well looks a little bit more, we could call it bullish than Harmony 1. It has held a little bit higher. But also for Fantom, I started to dollar cost average in after my sell order. My last sell order was triggered here pretty much at the top. I think it was 339, the absolute top of that wave B. Absolutely amazing. It's normally very hard to sell at the top, at a peak. I think when dollar cost averaging out at certain key levels, it's possible. In this case, we managed to do it, and you know, we managed to come down here. And again, if you're interested in seeing these buy and sell, consider to join the channel. But now we're rolling over, and we've made another new low compared to that previous one as well. Coming down nearly at the 200-day moving average. I think that'll be a lot of support. 150. And again, it's crazy now, these price levels, but to get into the area between $1.10 and 55 cents. But bear in mind, we've already dropped from $3.40 all the way to $1.80. So how much, how unlikely is it really to drop to 115? I don't think it's too unlikely. Alright, let me just check. Someone wanted to see AVAX. Again, just need to find the right chart that I had here for AVAX before. AVAX. Yeah, to be fair, I think I can't just find the chart that I normally use for Avalanche. But in the end, it doesn't matter. We can just take a look at maybe just the Binance chart here. And no, not Binance. Binance is always a bit inaccurate, those charts. Right, but if we take a look here, Avalanche again moved all the way down. People getting very bullish throughout November here. Again, very similar pattern. You came down, yeah. You made your move up throughout August, September, as so many other cryptos as well, all the way to $150. Came down, moved up again in a wave B. Again, my sell order was triggered $124. I mentioned it in the videos at the time. We also had a trigger amazing again, really pleased with that. And again, I started the dollar cost average in here now at around, I think, $65 or 77 I started already. For Avalanche, around the 0.5 FIB level here. From the profits up there, I've now got more AVAX than I had before. Really pleased with that, and I still would expect the price could theoretically come down here, and probably practically as well, between the and we take the same FIB levels, you know, because we're getting very close now anyway, and I think we can see it as confirmed that the uptrend is over, the immediate uptrend. So again, I would expect here price target area to be reached here between 25 and 39. You could actually normally, I would, you know, normally you can say that the 61.8, which is the most important FIB level in that wave down, is very relevant, but it's already come into the area too far. You know, it's already pinched it basically, and I think therefore the $39 level is certainly realistic to see here in this correction. But again, after that, what you can expect is major price increases. Again, I would say all the way up to, you know, certainly at least $230. And then I would say possibly even more realistic, 283 for Avalanche. So someone had a question, dollar cost average, what does it mean? It just means that, for example, if I want to buy into a cryptocurrency, I've got $1,000 available. I won't buy today, for example, Avalanche for $1,000. What I'll do, maybe I'll put in $200 today, then maybe I'll wait a week and put another $200 in. Or I'm not necessarily, you know, some people do it, you know, every week, some people do it every month. There are even people who do it every day, which I think is too often. But what you can also do is say, all right, I've got my buy orders here, or I've got my Fibonacci levels. So I say I'll spend from my $1,000 that I have for Avalanche, I want to spend, yeah, let's say $200 when we reach that FIB level because it could turn around. Maybe another 200 when it reaches that FIB level because it could turn around, and maybe another 200 for that, and then I'll keep my last 40% for maybe even lower prices, or for the next dip when it goes up, go into the next dip and wait for the next wave up, and then use the dip there because it then is a confirmed uptrend. So I'm not always buying into the dips here because then there's a risk it could fall further. It all depends. It's all personal strategy. Sometimes it depends because some people want to go in for a quick profit. Some people are in there for maybe with a time horizon of maybe half a year, which I think is definitely worth doing. If it's too short term, you won't be able to get these major gains. And what we see now is an historic time where prices are coming down faster than many people expected. And those prices, my view is in a year, we'll look back and say, oh dear, had I bought more, it would have changed my life, you know, and that's why I'm quite excited at the moment. We've been talking about price drops here for all cryptos for a while on this channel, for weeks now, for weeks and months actually. So I'm quite pleased that we're finally there. And I know I see it in the comments that a lot of people did hold back with purchases because of my videos. And of course, I'm not saying I'm always right, but it's to have visibility of that possibility that prices can really drop that far, I think has helped a lot of people. Yeah, Enjin coin, I haven't had a look to be honest, so let's take a look at Enjin. Because I think that dropped massively, didn't it? And again, Enjin coin has come into my target area as well, just see that. Haven't opened the chart for a while. I think since my last Enjin coin video, I did give you here this target area as well. We've come into it perfectly just today, so it might be worth for me to update the video as well. Again, very similar here. In my view, the price could come down to 120. That would be the next support level. It is certainly in the target area, so we could say, right, maybe it's you know, it could complete the correction now because it's done what it needs to do in this wave down. It's come into this critical support area, which is typically sitting for altcoins between the 88.7% FIB level and the 78.6 FIB level, which this is. And by the way, sorry if my bloody laptop is too noisy, but the other one didn't work with a microphone. Here it's like a starting aeroplane here in the background. But anyway, but yeah, I think this is the level where we can expect Enjin coin to go down to, and if it loses 120, but by the way, that would be an amazing price for Enjin in my view. Yeah, then the next key support would be at 92 cents or even $1 because it's a psychological one. And then MWJR, thanks for that, really helps out a lot. Thank you very much. You asked, I'm a bit late, but any idea when Bitcoin will decide to bounce before continuing downwards to? I'm not sure, I said that earlier, I'm not sure if there actually will be a bounce for Bitcoin before the 30k range. It looks like we've lost a lot of support levels, and there might not be a major bounce before we move down there. There might not be. If there is one, it'll be now, because we're at the key support. We're at a FIB level now. We're at 34.5. I think it's the 0.5 FIB level for Bitcoin. And if we lose that, I think we're going to unlock lower prices all the way down to 30k. But if it needs to bounce now, if it doesn't, I think that's it. It surprises me because a lot of altcoins are coming down. A lot of Bitcoin and altcoins are coming down. And by the way, hit the like button to please make sure that other people are seeing this chat as well and the live stream. Bitcoin is coming down to 30. Oh, do I have a mic problem? No, I shouldn't. No, okay, seems to work. Bitcoin, yeah, is at this key support currently. We don't see a strong reaction to it. And I can open the Bitcoin chart again. But oh dear, guys, 1 second. I need to open the door. 1 second. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I'm back now, so I had to open the door, parcel delivery. So yeah, I think Bitcoin is currently at a key support. You can see it on the chart. I've seen the horizontal support here at $34,500 basically, here that 0.5 FIB level that you can see here on the chart. And I think if it's losing that, yeah, I mean, then we're going to drop possibly here all the way down to, the beginning of my target area. We could lose the, I think 30k, a little bit of a bounce there maybe. There's a lot of volume in this area, but we are just at this FIB level here. And if we lose that, I think then you're going to see the 30k pretty much guaranteed. So it's a bit of a last chance. And you can see actually, you can see it very well actually on that move down from the top of that wave B down, how the price always reacted to these Fibonacci levels and how relevant they are. This wick did come down all the way to the 0.382 FIB level at 41.8, then moved up to the next FIB level, okay, then came down to that FIB level again, bounced off basically, moved up a little bit, came down now to the next FIB level. So the next FIB level will be 27.5k, and that would make a lot of sense because it would be the final sell-off, that wave C below the wave A. That's what it needs to trigger. But of course, if it loses that, then we could even say that if it doesn't hold the previous high of the previous bull run, it could even come down to 17k. That's just a possible reality. That's why I'm not spending all my money now, but I'm starting to dollar cost average in. I'm willing to accept that prices could drop lower, because in the long run, and the thing is, if it's turning around here, or even if it's turning around lower, I am seeing a Bitcoin, and certainly then I'm seeing a Bitcoin, even me who's normally quite bearish here, at least was in the short term because we're in a downtrend. But when we reach that target area down there, I'm going to become completely bullish. As soon as we see a first impulse, I think we're going to see then here 160k Bitcoin, and maybe even here 230k Bitcoin without too much problem. Because what you have then, and a lot of people are panicking now, but what you have then, you have your indicators, they are so far down then on the weekly, you know, the weekly RSI, it's come down already quite far. There is more scope to move lower, but if you start, you know, look at where you are then on the weekly RSI. You're basically where you were in November 2018. And in November 2018, this was when we really were at the low here, and when you made it to, not a, okay, that was not a new all-time high, but the price moved up from then like 3,000 all the way to around 13,000, right? Then we came down and came to a new low of the RSI as well. That was March 2020, and after that we made a new all-time high as well. So whenever you come down that low on the weekly RSI, that's a huge opportunity. You don't do that every day. You know, it takes years for these cycles to play out, and you don't want to buy in up here. You want to buy down here. At least that's my view, and no financial advice. All right, so yeah, I did mention AVAX. Can just open the chart quickly again, but for AVAX, what did we say? Yeah, I think we said we've already dropped below the 61.8 fib level now, so the next key support will be at $39. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that maybe all the way down to 25. But I think with AVAX, because it's dropped already quite a lot and it's been really bullish, I think yeah, I think a $39 would be realistic. So, but currently the price is already amazing for AVAX. It already is, I think. So yeah, I mean, we've already done here now what, an hour, nearly an hour. What, can you not hear me? Can you hear me? I'm seeing a few comments that there is no voice. Can you confirm that you hear me? Otherwise yeah, I'm not sure. I'll go. Well, I'm gonna have another look at Sand, but maybe someone could confirm in the chat that you can actually hear me. It seems to be that a few people that I need to check my sound. Sound okay? Perfect. So yeah, let's have a look at Sand. Sand, very interesting because Sand dropped a lot. They dropped really a lot here. Let's see where it is now. 286. And again, it's also dropped into my target area, and those were the levels that I mentioned when we were at around $8. I talked about price of around 455, 362. We've now even dropped lower than that, but I had the target area on the chart here, and again, it's always interesting how the perspective changes, because when I talked about these levels here during the correction, a lot of people said you're never going to see a $5 Sand again, but yeah, there we are. And to be honest, if anybody's interested in buying land in the Sandbox or on the Sandbox, it's probably the time now, to be fair. I'm seriously thinking about it with these prices now, and this could really be very, very interesting, looking at the partnerships. I mean, it's an amazing project. It's one of my favorite metaverse projects, or crypto gaming projects, or however you want to call them. Yeah, I think it's a huge platform. It's great. It's got a lot of partnerships, a lot of artists, you know, reputable companies buying land there. And yeah, it's just fallen onto the 200-day moving average here at 240. Again, I can only do a quick check in these videos here, but it just shows me that we're very close here to the low of my target area. I did set the target area fairly high for many cryptos. I set it even all the way down to the 88.7 fib level. Let's see if it's holding that. If it's holding here 230, we could see a reversal from here, but at the moment, again, we don't see any turnaround on the indicators, and I mean with that, for example, on the daily RSI and the MACD here. The MACD is just going down. Yeah, it's not even coming closer together. It's not going up. So yeah, we could even see here the next level at 150. So I wouldn't be surprised. With Bitcoin possibly dropping further, I think Sand could drop even further as well. I'm surprised how that momentum is increasing to the downside. I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised that we hit all the target levels, but I'm surprised how strong that sell-off is, and that we don't really see a strong reaction for Bitcoin at the current level, for example. It's just sort of hovering along and might actually form another bear flag Bitcoin. Yeah, let's take a final look maybe at Polkadot, and then at some point I need to finish. Then if you want to join the next live stream, you can of course join as channel member, and we do some more live streams tomorrow for channel members, and that's just amazing. Has it really come into my target area? No, I don't think it has. I think it's the wrong chart. I think it still needs to drop a little bit further. Let me just the chart that I really use. Which one do I normally use for Polkadot? Yeah, that's the chart. It's still to drop a little bit more. I had my target area for Polkadot down here between $6.50 and $11. I think that'll be amazing price for Polkadot, and that's also where I would expect Polkadot in the end to land. Dropping quite strongly at the moment, still holding support above here $17. Yeah, you can see that here, but I would expect it to drop here below that wave A. And if you hear a dog in the background, yeah, again, it's a lot of noise here in the house today. My loud laptop and the dog in the background. So yeah, don't be surprised. So I'm just gonna catch up quickly here on the chat if there are any questions that I can quickly answer. But yeah, for example, someone said Fantom is an easy 10x, and I personally do agree. I think it just needs a bit more of a correction before it then will turn around. But to be fair, at these prices or even a little bit lower, yeah, I think they are going to drop a little bit more. Most of these will be 10x's, you know, and in the end it probably won't matter if I buy a Polkadot, if I buy an Avalanche, if I buy a Cardano, if I buy even Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin might be a bit more tricky to get a 10x out of, but if I buy whatever, a Harmony One or a VeChain, I think most of them are going to do a 10x, maybe 20x in that next may move up. We're now getting closer to a low. I think there'll be a bit more of a drop to shake people out before we then... that's the dog. Got a wolf dog, so yeah, it's like a bit of a howling in the background. So let me just switch the sound of it, see if the dog is alright. 1 second. Yeah, I think the dog is alright. My wife just came back from shopping, so the dog is making a bit of a noise then. He actually doesn't bark, he just howls like actually. So yeah, I think to be honest, I have to finish the live stream now. Maybe tomorrow in the member live stream we're going to have another look at some TAs for cryptos, not really necessarily at a certain topic. Normally in the member live streams we always cover something like maybe a topic like you know, farming, or we covered my top cryptos for 2022. We covered Web3 as new hype. We covered a lot of things, but I think tomorrow maybe in the member live stream we're going to take a look at certain cryptos, the target levels, and when they could really turn around. I feel that's what interests most people at the moment. And yeah, I have to go back to the family now. I have to finish the live stream. Nearly an hour we did. I felt that was necessary in today's market condition. You know what we're doing here. I do, as I said in summary, for most cryptos I do expect lower prices. Most cryptos have hit my target area already. I would expect a turnaround here at some point. Not saying that they couldn't even drop a little bit lower. They were already set very low, these levels, compared to where we were weeks ago and months ago. And that's when I gave you a lot of these target areas. Looking back now, they were probably back from perspective back then. They seemed very low. They now, most of them are reached now. A few more need to be reached. For example, Polkadot isn't there yet. Chainlink isn't there yet. But I think we're going to see that. And yeah, I'm going to, you know, maybe if there's something significant, we'll do another live stream later today, tomorrow or next week or so. But again, thanks all for joining. A lot of new subscribers. Thanks for that. And yeah, thanks for all your support. Really appreciate it. And yeah, see you in the next videos. Thank you.